Hi everybody, it's me Bob Saunders, and I'm back again with another little video. Now, the last video I made, well the last two actually, I sort of criticised the Andromeda Council and the Silver Legion. Now, I don't really mean to criticise these people, because I'm sure that the two people that channel this information, one's a man and one's a woman, I'm sure they're completely honest and above board and really doing their best to get information from somewhere out to people. But as I've tried to explain at some length in these other videos, I have a feeling that they're being played with by what I call nature spirits, and which are just little thought forms that float about in the astral realms. And I think that this Silver Legion and this Andromeda Council, they're both just the figments of the imagination of these little, what I call nature spirits, that are playing games with anybody that comes into the low astral realms where they live. And in this case there's this woman, and independently or together, I'm not sure, this man, and these little nature spirits are playing a game of psychic soldiers and interdimensional councils with these people. I think the nature spirits invented the Silver Legion and the Andromeda Council, and it doesn't actually exist in real life. Now, just to give you a little example, I have in my life, like most people, I've done a number of things, but I have worked with children in schools, and sometimes I'd say to the kids, let's go and have a game of football. Now, that is a thought form that I give out to the children. Okay, I say it with words, but it's really, it starts as a thought, doesn't it? Now, and the kids all say, yeah, that's a good idea. And one will run off and get a ball, another one will try and find a whistle, and if we haven't got any goalposts, I'm talking about English style football, not American football. If we haven't got any goalposts, the kids will get some coats, and they'll make a pile of coats, you know, two piles of coats at one end and two piles of coats at the other, and we'll all start off, and as I'm the sort of teacher, I'd probably be the referee, and we all charge up and down the field kicking the ball, and every now and again we score a goal, and way, and every now and again a kid will shout out, offside. He might not even know what offside is, but he's heard the expression, another thought form, and we're playing a game. It's not, it's real in our sense, but it's not real in a real sense. This is not international football at high level, you know. This is just a little game. Now, in this low astral realm, there are these delightful little thought forms, and all they do is play with people's thoughts. And if you go into their world and you said to them, yeah, let's have a game of football, they'll mentally play football with you. And if you accept it, it will appear real to you. Once you've gone into your psychic body from your physical body, it will appear real. Now, I think the same thing's happened here, that these two people have been interested in something or other, and they've gone off, and they may have been thinking about, yeah, do aliens exist, and spaceships, and you know what's going on, and these little nature spirits have picked up their thoughts and quite simply transformed it into a game that they're presenting back to these individuals. Now, it's very difficult for me actually to find out what's going on, because as I told you before, I work with a group called the White Brotherhood, and if you look at some of my other videos, you'll see that these are serious people that know what they're talking about, and when they help people down here, you see a result. Now, so I have asked them, would they tell me what's going on with all this stuff, and they say no. This is nothing to do with what they're interested in, which is spirituality and all the rest of it. These people that are victims of this game, they're not actually doing any harm to people, so it's not within the white brotherhood's domain of authority, if you like, to try and discourage all this. But I feel a certain responsibility, and the latest one I come across enters a domain about which I do know something, and I think I can possibly demonstrate, if you're willing to believe what I'm saying, that there's something nonsensical about the information. Now, excuse me, as usual, I've got some notes. Pick it up. Now, I saw on YouTube from a lady, I don't like to mention people's names, but this is part of the title, so I'm obliged to, and I apologise to the lady. I don't mean her any harm at all. Tanath, message, stroke, sexuality in higher dimensions. And it's published on YouTube on April the 11th, 2013. Now today, as I'm talking to you, I think it's June the 10th, 2013. So it's a couple of months ago it was put online. Now, this enters a domain about which I do have a certain competence, both in a physical sense and in a spiritual sense, an astral sense, if you like. I've been married, my wife and I have been married for 49 years. Next year we celebrate our 50th anniversary. So we do know a little bit about sexuality and love. And love is the important part, more important than the sexuality part. Now, when you're down here, you have a physical body and physical sexual organs, and you can reproduce. This is one of the things why we're down here. Animals, insects, well, even plants, they have a form of sexual body that they can interact with each other and reproduce. And I don't need to explain to you how it all happens. I'm sure you know about the birds and the bees. Now, when you go into your astral realms, that stops. Give you a little example. How many times on YouTube do you see people, boys, girls, men, women, have what they call a near-death experience? And they go down this long tunnel and appear at the other end in this bright white light, and they're met by some sort of angelic being that they might consider to be God or Jesus, or they're met by an angelic being. And they're overwhelmed with this feeling of love and peace and all the other joy that goes with that sort of sensation. I've never once heard a person come back, a man for instance, who was met by a lady angelic being, saying, wow, I really fancied her, or vice versa, well, that was a really nice guy, you know, I could mate with him. And it doesn't happen. When you're in that realm, you don't have any sexuality. You're a being of light yourself, just like these angelic forms are. You've got nothing to have sex with. And those thoughts of actual physical sexuality don't have any meaning anymore. So this lady that's, you should go and look on that site that I gave you. It's all written. Nobody's talking. It's all written, and it's writing about people having sex, not only heterosexual sex or whatever it's called, but men having sex with men and women. It goes on and on and on, and there's no such thing as fidelity. It's all in anybody that fancies anybody else, they just get into bed together. It's nonsense. You don't have anybody to have sex with. Those thoughts of physical base sexuality are gone. You've left them all behind with your physical body. You're a being of light in a world of light, surrounded by all this ambience of beauty and love. Now, this is the last bit, and I'm going to shut up. The sort of feelings that we have when we fall in love, that is a noble thought, okay? The sex part is different. That feeling of being in love is a noble thought, and that you can take with you into the spiritual realms, and that is one of the fundamental parts of it. You feel this beauty and this love, but it's a platonic love. It's a love that everybody has for everybody else. It's not a sex-based thing. It just is nonsense. So that to me is as much proof as I really need to know that the information that this poor lady that calls herself Tanith is receiving is coming from some nonsensical area. Now, it may be coming from something malign, but having listened to all that they're saying, malign forces push people to do bad things down here on Earth. The messages that come through on the Andromeda Council and the Silver Legion is just banal nonsense. Very, very complicated, very, very intricate, but these nature spirits are more than capable of doing all that. They're not unintelligent. They just pick up people's thought forms and concoct them all together and present them out as a little game. They don't realise that people actually believe this stuff. That's not their interest. They're just playing a game. Just as I mentioned, the children playing football are playing a game. If somebody was filming this and put it on TV as a big final between two important teams, it wouldn't work. It's nonsense, and you'd see it straight away. But when people present you information about which there is no proof, and you either accept it or you don't, but analyse what people are saying to you. Look behind all this garbage and try and find, is there any truth in it? Does it make sense? Does it have that ring of truth instead of this ring of expectancy that people are coming here to save us and all's going to be well, the reptilians are gone? Keep your feet on the ground, ladies and gentlemen. I do feel sorry that I have to keep criticising this, but I couldn't let this silly little comment about sexuality in the fourth and fifth and sixth dimensions go without saying to people, stop, that's enough. You've gone down this road long enough. Get back to some serious spiritual work. Learn to meditate properly. Learn to get yourself into the astral realms correctly and see what's really going on. It's beautiful enough up there, and there's more than enough going on without needing to play games with these nature spirits. Okay, sorry about that. I'll speak to you again another day on different subjects, I hope. Bye.